Omori is a great game, and while it only released nearly 2 years ago, many fans have begged Omeka for a potential sequel to the game due to a semi-cliffhanger that the game ends on. And in this video, I'll be going through what the sequel of Omori could be, what the story would be like, and what form it could be presented in. So what should happen after all these endings? Well, for this part I've watched several fan videos, fan fiction, comics, and more on what people think should happen after the events of Omori, and analyse the context given throughout the scenes to decide what should happen. Let's start with the good bad ending. Now to make this simple, I've actually made a little branch diagram to kind of show you where we are. So this is a spin-off of the good ending, where instead of winning the fight with Omori as Sunny, you actually lose the fight and you So, Sunny has just killed himself to live in Headspace till the end of time. Cool. In this ending, I suppose we'd see more of Headspace, but the biggest issue with this is that the cycle no longer exists. There's no sort of self-destructive cycle that ends and then restarts, as we see in the game. It'd all be completely new Headspace stuff, based within the memories that Sunny had while he was still alive, and maybe some lingering thoughts that he still had. So some of the pre-existing areas of Headspace would stay alive, but honestly the sky would be the limit. Or, alternatively, it could be locked to these very specific circumstances as Sunny isn't learning anything new, he's stuck with the memories that he has. In the real world, well, Basil could either explain the whole situation, leading to rejectment, but more likely embracement, and the group would have to deal with the proper loss of Mari as they just figured out how she died, but Sunny as well. This would also have to lead someone to tell Sunny's parents what happened to him and Mari, which is a heartbreaking conversation to have, and I could not imagine the amount of sadness that would come from a continuation of this ending. There are two neutral endings that occur when the player does a Hikikomori or Omori route of the game. These neutral endings can also occur if you leave Basil after Sunny wakes up in Basil's house by choosing to go back to sleep, or start a Hikikomori route by ignoring Cal during the opening of the game, where Cal knocks at the door. If you do end up going through with the Hikikomori route, you'll have a further exploration of Headspace, Red Space, and Black Space, so it's actually a really cool route to look at, as there are many differences that you don't get in the normal Sunny route. Once going back to sleep in your house, you wake up in White Space, in a sequence that parallels the opening of the game, but without the light bulb or the door. You see a knife and then wake up in Sunny's house, which then you move out, abandoning your friends but taking your guilt with you. Basil is still dead, by the way. If you bring the steak knife into bed with you, you'll go into the same sequence in White Space, but stabbing yourself in White Space will stab Sunny as well, showing his bleeding corpse with the answering machine constantly ringing. The same thing happens in the Hikikomori route, but you can stab yourself at any time, while something watches you do it, and even is existent in the credits. All endings will play a slower credit sequence, with ambulance sirens, the answering machine, or a phone ringing, depending on which ending. These endings are all, well, a bit sad to be honest. Continuing these will result in Basil's death as the group and Polly attempts to deal with these, minus Sunny of course, because he's either moved away or has killed himself. I believe the one where Sunny moves away, it'd have to show Sunny just living a new life, possibly trying to remove himself of the guilt of the game's events, or just go further into Headspace, trying to live those memories that once were. The ending where Sunny dies will be centered on the group dealing with it, and I honestly do not know how that would be dealt with, because not only is Sunny dead, but Basil's dead. Cal would obviously blame himself as he failed to get Sunny to come outside and play with him and be normal again. Aubrey would probably blame herself for the death of Basil as she bullied him throughout previous events, and Hiro would probably just feel sad knowing he couldn't have done enough for the group. I really don't think this ending would be likely to be followed because it's very, very dark, and also it's not really Omori without Omori. Let's switch to a more positive note, because it's the good ending of the game. I really hope this one gets continued in some way. If like they're choosing in the development team which ending we're gonna go for, please do the positive one, because this would just genuinely be the therapy that Omori fans need. So in the game, the good ending is where Sunny tells Kel, Aubrey, and Hiro what actually happened that night. We don't know their reactions, but we do know that he kind of talks to Basil after if you get the really good ending, so that's just, so we're all on the same page with that. There are two ways this could go. The first way being that Hiro, Aubrey, and Cal decide to distance themselves from Sunny and Basil after hearing what they said. This would make sense as for the last 4 years they've been lied to and would feel betrayed by the two. Of course, it would probably take them time to forgive them, knowing how much stress and anxiety this has caused Basil and Sunny, or they could just leave them alone, leaving Sunny to move out and Basil alone in Faraway Town, not bullied by Aubrey and the hooligans, but just left alone. This would also leave Sunny to his new home, free from the guilt that has accumulated over the years. Still a bit sad due to his friends leaving him, but relieved that he finally got the truth out there. The other ending that could happen is that they forgive Basil and Sunny, leading them to all being friends again. To go into this direction, and honestly again, the direction that we need. Aubrey, Cal, Hiro, they all hug Sunny, they're heartbroken over what happened, but they forgive him. They understand the pain and suffering that he and Basil have had to deal with over the last 4 years. Sunny moves away, Hiro goes to college, but Cal, Aubrey, and Basil stay very close as a reformed group. In this branch, as I'm gonna call it, I can imagine Sunny coming back to visit them once in a while, whether that's just to see Basil or the whole group. My pitch for this, I know, please hire me, would be to show their holiday break together, as Sunny came down to visit them. Show the adventures they get up to and give us insight on how all the characters' lives have changed since the events of the game, like Hiro in college, Cal in high school, what's Aubrey up to, how's Basil's grandma doing. There's so many things that, while shouldn't be answered, it'd be really cool to know what happened. While it feels weird to bring this up, I feel like we should talk about the form of what Omori 2 would take. It sounds silly to suggest something other than a video game, as Omori is a video game, but the series has roots within being a graphic novel. I discussed more about this in my History of Omori video, link in the description. But Omori started off as a web blog called Omori Boy, where Omercat, the creator of Omori, would post images of the sad boy with captions describing his thoughts. This later culminated into a graphic novel showing the daily life of Omori, called Omori's Story, but Omercat felt like this was too limiting and decided that a video game would be the perfect medium to tell Omori's story. Now, to suggest a graphic novel, I know it sounds very out of the blue, even if the series has origins on it, but a series with a similar split ending, Life is Strange, also went down the graphic novel route to tell fans what happened after the ending, which inspired me to do this for Omori. The ending of Life is Strange ends on 2 choices, and the comic series actually follows up on one of those choices, so I could definitely see Omori doing the exact same. Graphic novels are also great merchandise for fans to have physically, and, you know, Omercat is a merch store, so it kinda works out. And also digital books would be a great option for fans who want it to be more affordable, or just simply like digital books. I hope you enjoyed this kind of look into what the future of Omori could hold. It's honestly very uncertain, and we may not even get an Omori 2. Like, Omercat's merchandise is going amazing, she's doing stuff with Hololive, with Pokemon. There is no reason that we could even get an Omori 2, but we can dream, I guess. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to subscribe to the channel. I do a lot of Deltarune, Undertale, Omori content, so I'd appreciate a subscribe. Thanks for watching, and see you soon. Bye bye.